Hey YouTube family, it's Stinko the Realtor, your Utah Realtor. I have something to show you that might be cracking in the economy. You're going to want to pay attention to this. Before we get to that, hit that subscribe button. That way you're notified when new videos drop. Smash that like button. That way this video gets pushed in front of more people. You know I got your back. You know I'm going to show you data and information that nobody else does. So let's get going here. Now take a look at this. Let me make sure I'm not blocking anything. And I am, so I'm going to remove myself. 1 in 7 Gen Z credit card users are maxed out. 1 out of 7 Gen Z users are maxed out on their credit card, meaning $20,000, $30,000, $30 plus thousand dollars that they are back maxed out on their credit card debt. Now, I want to show you some other stuff. This I've always been saying, do the research, read between the lines, and see what's going on. So all these negative things that have come out, but check out what this article says, and check out what they're kind of spilling the beans on, saying everything is great. Yields had jumped on Thursday as the U.S. retail sales figure for July came in higher than expected, surging 1% in the month. Economists polled by the Dow Jones had been expecting a 0.3% increase, but we had a 1% increase. The data, let me remove myself here again, the data signaled robust consumer spending, easing fears of a recession, if not an economic slowdown. So right here, easing fears of a recession. Now, weekly jobs claims came out, and let me pull myself back up here. All right, so let's go back over here. So we see that the totals of 114,000, much less than expected. Unemployment rises to 4.3. This is up from the national 3.5%, I believe, that we were at a year ago. And we see that 114 new jobs created versus what was estimated to be 185,000. We see right here, look at that, 4.3%. So we're seeing all of this. And I went over this previous video. 1 trillion wiped out from tech. This is just in one day in the stock market. Tech companies lost 1 trillion. Right here, the stock market lost 2.9 trillion from the stocks in just one day. Now, right here, I want to show you. Look at this. Now, everything is great, right? Everything is peachy and dandy. But check this out. You always have to do the research. Look, nothing has settled. There's things unraveling, and we just have to pay attention to it. And you have to just see what's going on out there. The average consumer carries $6,218 in credit card debt as more borrowers are falling behind on their payments. Well, hold on. I thought that the consumer was strong, everything was great, and the consumer was showing resilience. And then all of a sudden, people are falling behind on their payments. They're carrying all this debt. All right, well, what's going on here? Then we go here into the next article. Look at this. Overdue credit card debt. Let me just remove myself. Looks like I'm blocking something there. Overdue credit card debt is the highest it's been in more than a decade. In a decade. So here's what we look. What's the risk, right? I mean, this article is stating that. Now, the thing to pay attention to is that's over a decade. There are articles out there. There's some information stating since 2010. Well, what happened in 2010? We were essentially just getting out of the Great Recession, and things were still unraveling. The economy still didn't recover. That was 2010. So if we go back to 2010, even to 2011, the economy, there were still foreclosures going on. There were still short sales going on. There was still pain. There was still unemployment, a high level of unemployment. So if we go over here, we see a decade high. Well, how can then one article over here, one good news, one thing that comes out, so, well, what I'm seeing here is people are spending money that they don't have. So this spike is just people spending money because they're trying to survive because of this inflation. So this right here saying a surge in 1% in spending is showing resilience. I think that it's actually showing potentially even greater pain because people are maxing out their credit cards. People are falling behind on their credit cards. And check this out. Let me pull this up. Rising credit card debt, potentially a bad sign for the economy. Well, of course. And if we go over here, this right here, I showed this in a previous, I want to read this again to you guys. I've showed this a couple of months ago. Americans aged 18 to 29 had the highest delinquency rate in the fourth quarter, according to the New York Fed. At least. So this is actually fourth quarter, so this is 2023, and right now things are showing that 2024 is worse than 2023. Look, I've been saying there's a lot of stuff out there that's kind of preventing, for example, not turning on the student loans. Well, they turned them on now, but you have the option of paying or not, and all they're doing is pushing that out and you're accruing some interest, but there's no penalties and it's not going on anybody's credit report. So that's one aspect of it, of how this is kind of happening. So Americans aged 18 to 29 had the highest delinquency rate. According to the New York Fed, 10% were seriously delinquent, 90 plus days behind on their payments. Let that sink in. 90 plus days delinquent, 10%. Well, how many are delinquent 30 days, 45 days, 60 days? So this is right here is considered severely delinquent, right? Seriously delinquent. Now, this was followed by 30 to 39 who had the delinquency rates of just under 9%. If you combine these two, that would potentially be about 9.5%. So you're almost, let me remove myself, so you're almost at 10%, 39 years and under. Now, if you have 10% of people aged 39% and under, 1 out of 10, 10%, is behind 90 plus days, not 30, not 45, not 60, but 90. That's not showing resilience in the economy. That's showing people maxing out credit cards in order to just survive. And right here, 1 in 7 Gen Z credit card users are maxed out. Now, you tell me, how does that show resilience in the economy? That just shows me that potentially things have not unraveled. And we're seeing inventory growing. I've been saying the second half of the year, per the data, is the better time to buy. Now, the recession could come here in the second half unless they're able to just print enormous amounts of money. I think our national debt's about to hit 35 trillion. So they got the money printers on, but the economy, well, the government has been downgraded. This was about 6 or 9 months ago. They should have been downgraded again. So there's definitely things that are being swept under the rug, things that are being mixed. But 1 out of 7 credit card users are maxed out right there. I mean, over here, we're seeing that 10% of people aged 39 and under, almost 10%, are down or behind 30 or 90 plus days. Well, is that showing resilience? And inventory is growing. You know, Dinko the Realtor has your back. My contact information is down below in the description. These videos will keep coming.